back. You can show me how the odds are up.
Hi everyone, you have to excuse the footage today. I'm back to a GoPro 8. I damaged my Hero 10, so that's gone back to get a replacement. So I've been trying to play with the GoPro Max. I got it a couple of months ago and I'm trying to work out how best to use it. Now, I thought it was going to be a miracle camera, and I'm not convinced it is. I think it's amazing for some certain shots that you can get, and once you've edited it, it does look very good, but it definitely has its limitations. But what I wanted to do was to show you some of the different mountings that I've tried on the bike and show you some footage from those mountings, because actually it's a bit of trial and error to get the best place. So I'll go through a few of the different ones I've tried. You'll get a little bit of a fail from me as you see me break my Insta360 pole that was stuck on the back as I got my leg over, so you'll see me breaking that. But I'll go through a few of the placements and then show you the footage from each of those placements. So let's go. Right, so the first placement I tried was actually on the mirror fitting. So I've got a ram lock, one of the clamps that you can get, and this is actually really very good. So that ram clamp is well worth buying. But I've tried mounting it here, and that seems like quite a good place for using the hero mode on this camera, which is looking at the rider and getting quite a wide view on the background. So I've not seen the footage from this yet. I'm doing these shots before I get home, so I'm really curious to see what that footage is like. So that's the first mount, and we'll see what the footage from that one is like. This mount is where I actually mounted it on the frame, and there's a bit of an error in this one because I managed to break the stick. But I had an Insta360 stick, which you can see is broken on the end. I managed to hit it with my leg as I was getting off the bike, which is just completely stupid, no common sense at all. I'm not sure about this one because you can extend it quite a long way, but you get a lot of camera wobble with it as well. It really sort of moves about an awful lot with the vibrations. I've seen a couple of videos online of people using it on road bikes, which sort of seems all right, but again it gives you a bit of a strange view of the rider no matter how you edit it together. And also when you go off-road, the bumps are just going to magnify that movement so much that I'm not sure the image stabilizer is going to cope with it. But what you do need for these is a 1/4 inch female GoPro mount, and that goes on the top of this, so that it's got a 1/4 inch male thread on the top of the Insta Pro, which you can see there. And then at the bottom of the Insta selfie stick there's a female socket. So a female 1/4 inch screw socket, and you need to get a 1 inch ram mount ball with a male 1/4 inch thread on it. So just getting the right bits is quite important, and it did work. It goes together really nicely, but as you can see I broke it off. You can see here that I've mounted the camera on the top, so we've got the threaded GoPro mount here, and then when it was all in one piece it fitted on here like that before I broke it. But as you can see, there's a lot of wobble about. Some people cable tie it. I'm still not convinced, because by the time you get to the end of the pole there's so much movement within the parts that it's going to give a lot of wobble. Though the GoPro Max does seem fairly good at taking care of that wobble. It has got some image stabilization on there, so I'm not hopeful about the footage I've got from this, but we'll see on that and see what that footage is like. The next mount I put on the end of the handguard protectors. So I used the clamp again, and you know, I can't say enough good things about this clamp. It's really super good. So I put that on there and then mounted it out the side. What you find when you're editing is that if you're sort of quite close in with the camera, you get a lot of distortion close in, and it can make the rider, well me, can make it look quite strange and make you look really hunched up and crouched. So trying to get the right camera angles is quite challenging. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the footage of this mount looks like. You've got to be careful when you're going near hedges. It will get a bit of a bash, but definitely excited about looking at seeing what that one's like.
Shortcuts here for destiny. I'll take a long way proud. Oh, I know what I've earned, and now it's my turn. Lighting the fuse, let it burn. But my time is rising, and you can't bring me down. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now.
And the final mount is the helmet mount, so the original GoPro helmet mount, and it does come with one of these, but I'm actually a little bit worried about this one because there's so much helmet under the camera that I think the wide angles will just take in all the top of the helmet as well. So I think the view could be quite strange on that, but we'll check it out. So it's just a standard helmet mount on that, as you can see there. So so yeah, we'll see what that's like anyway.
You can't stop me now. You can't stop me now. All my feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. Can't stop me now. You can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going now.
So thanks for watching once again, really appreciate your time. I hope you found some useful tips in this and learned from the things that I've done and the things that do and don't work. So I think the GoPro Max does have a role. Off-road, it seems to work reasonably well. You've got to be really careful about that camera shake. It can be really quite magnified, especially if you stick the camera out on the end of anything. So just be super careful about where you put it. But I think it does have a role, and certainly on a tripod, I've used it on the land, or you know, in a river, on a tripod, so it's completely still, and that seems to work quite nicely. But do bear in mind you're not going to get those 4K shots like you would do with the Hero 10. So you know, I think it's got its place. I don't think it's the sort of perfect only camera, but I think as part of filming and for vlogging, I think it does have a place, especially you know, if you're doing motorcycle and travel things where you want to get some panoramic shots and just get a little bit more movement on the shots that you're using. You can do that in the editing, so I think it does have a place. Once again, thanks for watching, really appreciate your time. If you did like the film, and there are plenty of others, then please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Happy riding, and go and have your mini adventures.
You can't tell me the deck is stacked. You can't whisper behind my back. You can't show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. You can't for destiny. I'll take the long way proud. Oh, I know what I've earned, and now it's my turn. Lighting the fuse, let it burn. But my time is rising, and you can't bring me down. Can't stop me now. You can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going. I ain't turning back around. Can't stop me. Can't stop me now. No, 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 no. You can't stop me now. This is the calm before the storm. You know what's coming, so be warned. You can't stop me